Yeah, Stand By Me came out.
So then you go back to school, and are you a big star?
I was in public school. You know, it's so funny. So
Watch your phone, because if he answers, I want you to.
I was 11 when I was in Stand By Me. And
Right.
the other guys were, and this is like typically some Hollywood stuff, they were older. They were like 15. So typically child actors are older than they are.
Who was the biggest, most established star in that movie at that time?
I would say Corey Feldman. He was in Goonies, and that
Right.
was a big hit, you know?
Were you starstruck?
Ooh, yeah. I was, you know, I was, I didn't know anything about sets. I didn't know anything about cameras and marks and hitting your mark and, you know, even like waiting till they say action. You know, I just didn't know. I didn't know the technical stuff of it. You know, and they were very helpful. We had a really fun summer. I had a really fun time. It's funny. I had a really fun time making that movie.
But then going back, were you able to assimilate into real life?
You know what's funny is it's funny. After we finished the movie, my father, who worked in advertising and had a few people that he worked with who had tried to succeed in the entertainment industry and did it unsuccessfully. My father, after filming, I came back and I was like, Dad, we were in Oregon. They let us ride the crane, and the camera's on a crane, and it was so much fun. And we did multiple takes, and they would reload the camera. Like I was explaining everything, and my father was like, listen, this sounds great. Don't go around telling people you're in a movie and you're a star of a movie. This movie is never getting released. Like, they never released these independent movies. It was an independent movie, you know?
He was trying to probably protect you from getting way too excited, right?
Yeah, because I'm sure I was saying I'm a star of a movie and I could ad-lib and do whatever I wanted. And he was like, don't go around talking about it. It's never going to see the light of day. They make these movies all the time,
but
and
then
they never get released. And then it did, and it was a huge hit. And that's when I realized my father is like mistaken about everything. No, I never listened to your father. Because I was 12 when the movie came out, it wasn't really my generation. That wasn't, Stand By Me was more of an older kids movie, you know? And so it didn't, I didn't
But
feel
even
the
though
pain.
it wasn't Goonies and it wasn't a kids movie, but even the fact that if you had somebody who was in a movie
Yeah.
in your class, was that
I
not
am going to
considered
tell
a big...
you. So I got an agent right after Stand By Me. She was a, God rest her soul, she was a young person, a young adult agent. She was River Phoenix's agent. Her name was Iris Burton. And I believe Iris Burton is what Joey Tribbiani's agent was based on. You remember the agent who talked like this, like on Friends?
On Friends, yeah.
Anyone who's a fan of Friends will know what I'm talking about. She was a real great, she was a legend, but a cigarette-smoking child agent who only handled young stars. And it was River Phoenix. I believe Fred Savage was a client. I believe. Don't quote me on this. So I immediately, starring in Stand By Me, was represented by the premier kid agent, you know? Kid agent, right?
Right.
Young adult agent. And right after Stand By Me came out, Stand By Me is a hit. My first audition, you have to understand, I had never really auditioned. I had auditioned for Stand By Me, you know? That was it.
So the next one was?
So my next audition was a television sitcom called Webster. And for those who don't recall, Webster starred Emmanuel Lewis, who was he was a kid who lived with, I don't want to say Dick Butkus, but he lived with, it was...
another big...
and it was sort of...
Karras. Wasn't it Karras?
I don't know.
The
Somebody look it up.
Who's in the cast of Webster?
But I remember oh, there we go.
Alex Karras, I'm right.
Yeah, Alex Karras. You were right. I remember going in and auditioning for Webster. And
wait, what were you going to be?
I was going to be his friend. It was like a, what they call like a, I don't know, like a 6-episode arc or something.
Oh, okay.
And they flew me out, and I flew on TWA, and I flew with my dad, and you know, Emmanuel Lewis was you know, very like he was a star, a huge star at the time.